creative speculation. Yet that is the brilliance of the work in finding so much in the scant and occluded historical record. Religious ontologies may exist simultaneously with mundane, familiar Weltanschauung. Sartre's existential personal world experience coheres within the phenomenality of social dialectical reason and the cultural environment. Mankind and his civilizations exist within an apparent universe, emerged and selected from all possible universes put up in some way, fine-tuned to support life. From an unknowable perturbative vacuum of quantum uncertainty, perhaps a void in space-time plus energy emerge, and allowing a hydrogen fusion process that is only 0.007 efficient. No one knows if a quantum uncertainty field before all universes really exists, or why even one virtual particle would ever become a temporarily real thing, or where it could appear or why, before anything materially was. One would think that all things existing become the past, presenting a form of paradox for itself, even if one regards a temporal linear series of events mechanically and as self-explanatory. The Sumerians had their own way of examining the juxtaposition of the supernatural and unknown with the natural and known. The Babylonians repressed that artistic and intellectual liberty with the dogmatism of the cult of Marduk, and Abraham, with his sculptor father Terah, set out over the Arabian Peninsula to change the future history of mankind. Sodom and Gomorrah were said to be located near the confluence of the Dead Sea and the Jordan River. Perhaps the mud brick towns were new and located on the opposite bank of the Jordan, or over historical time it might have occurred to someone to dam the Jordan, and one such dam broke, sending a raging wave to sweep the perverse townsmen and their bricks before a river wave down the return to the elements in the Dead Sea. Looking back into ancient history is a good thing for scholars. Culturally, though, societies may stagnate in the past or forget its lessons, dooming themselves to repeat its errors. When Abraham's nephew Lot was ordered to flee the city of Sodom before its destruction, he and his family were told not to look back. Leaving a corrupt civilization is what Abraham did when departing Ur that had fallen into economic and spiritual stagnation. Lot's wife had to stop and look back across salt collection and drying ponds outside Sodom, and was splashed and covered over with quick-drying salt slurry when some kind of collection retaining wall collapsed or a splattering thing struck down the city. There are several messages in the story, a true story that one may take concerning the need for social and cultural reformation, the need to not have contempt for God and or about the phenomenality of existence in a phenomenal universe. Perhaps we should not have smug politicians ignoring global heating, ecospheric depletion, and economic corruption because they own stock in ExxonMobil or Iraqi oil fields or have investment in China. When capitalism is corrupted such that it puts a price on people and what they are worth, to delete the economic methods assaults democracy and becomes a tool of financial democide. Corrupt political parties ping-ponging for imperialism and economic ball with hypocritical moral paddles over an oily atmospheric and biospheric decay of too much of the sodomites about them to be reformers and escape the enveloping return unto an animate being without free will in itself. I recommend reading Rosenberg's book Abraham. It is a serious effort to reconstruct more about ancient writers and what they thought of life. Some people believe that God could have evolved the world if he chose, yet philosophically it's easy to understand that God also would have complete foreknowledge of all quantum variables at any level so far as he likes. People have free will, yet God's will entirely determines how things are. Even quantum mechanics has similar paradoxes on the nature of matter and of getting information about it. The Heisenberg uncertainty principle is also a kind of quantum displacement principle, as all things determined are yet grounded in the infinite and unfounded, expected for the phenomenal, perhaps inclusive of the human mind and of human experience. Abraham might have emerged from a culture supporting the religious concepts that emerged and in part formed elements of the religious paradigm of Judaism, Islam, and Christianity. Yet so what? Would God not human beings to develop religious or spiritual capacity, bring them to recognize his true self, the universe phenomenalized? There are still Sumerian ethnic peoples, Amorites living in Iraq. Those we might regard today as Jews were just another Semitic people, many of whom had moved to Sumer, though some lived in Canaan. The ideas of Sumer continued with us, including some of the religious paradigms in some respects. Abraham, in leaving Sumer, became the first Jew, it is said, a religious way of relating to a transcendent. It is good for Christian faith that the principles in our own first century AD drama of reality were all real people. Jesus Christ was a real man too, for whom the witnessed experiences of the apostles, disciples, and countless others of the miracles of Jesus were given, transcending the foundations of experience and history to become a reliable ontology for itself, the best a human being may have.